We will have to see and we will have to find out as we are preparing to head into the draft for game number 1 between Sunny Lion and RPG. RPG on the left, Sunny Lion on the right.
Yeah, the Sunny Lions, they are a team that joined the league this phase. They're brand new, featuring some of the older veteran players though. C, formerly known as Butcher, Ustia, formerly known as Neptune. Those played for KT. Unfortunately, KT fell to the hands of Timeflow in the Crucible. And as such, they're no longer in here.
See ya Hanzo and see ya Falstad. Falstad, another hero who has just leapt up in terms of popularity, in terms of picks and bans, especially today. I'm pretty sure he's been banned every game, actually.
Yeah. Falstad is crazy.
That's crazy.
Like, Falstad seems to be China's most dreaded hero, and for a reason, because I'm not sure what his current win rate is, but the games he participated in with a nice blow-up style composition, he looked very scary. So, nothing new here, Uther, the Holy Trinity. I think at this point it's safe to say that this is the Holy Trinity in China. We have Greymane, ETC, and Uther, sometimes a Gengu, sometimes a Hanzo, if they make it through.
Yeah, I would agree. Those are the go-to heroes. Falstad jumps up there a couple times. Lucio might sneak in every now and again. But like you said, those are kind of the go-tos. And that really shows in all of these teams' first picks and bans on average. Sonya snuck in, though, just a little bit for Sunny Lion. And they've also first picked Abatha once and lost.
I'm interested in seeing, Tetcher, whether RPG is going to ban the Jaina second here against Sunny Lion. Because although Jaina has risen in popularity quite a bit, no other team in the league relies on her so much in a way that Sunny Lion does.
It is they are very good on the hero. It's a good reason that they do pick it so often. However, they're against a Genji and a Sonya in this match now. That makes a Jaina incredibly vulnerable. Especially
before she completes her trade, which basically allows her then to hop into the ice block to protect herself against a potential Genji Sonya assault. But before that, as you said, she's quite vulnerable. Let's see though, maybe they still want to ban it just to deny the super comfort pick for Jaina. It's still so weird.
It is very weird. It's weird to say, but it's not as bad as Butcher playing Stitches. As we see RPG considering their second ban, it's going to be Rhaegar here. They already have their support, so very sensible.
Yep, take away the cleanse. Take away the only remaining cleanse on a really high popular hero. Although, whenever we saw Brightwing coming in by Soa, it looked so good.
That's very true. So, Sunny Lion, so far not going for the Brightwing. They're holding off on their support. Now, the supports, they have just basically picked Uther pretty much every game it has been available, followed by Rhaegar. So, the Lucio, on the other hand, much further down than you would see on other teams, I believe, only picked once, which is the same amount that they've actually picked Lieutenant Morales and Ariel in drafts.
And that's exactly what I wanted to talk about, Tetcher. We see a Gul'dan, and then we have to talk about different supports they would have normally had to. So, the Infinite Sustain combo, Morales, Gul'dan, one drains mana in sacrificing health, the other one doesn't need mana and gives health. And that is just a wonderful synergy you can have. Normally seen on Braxis a lot, but can definitely be executed on Dragonshire as well. But also there's Stukov to be mentioned. Stukov, Ariel, those supports all work wonders with Gul'dan.
Yeah, they have managed to play Stukov. Pretty much every support that isn't Rhaegar and Uther, they have only played once.
Have they played Ariel?
Only managed to play twice. They played Ariel once. They played Stukov twice, actually. One win, one loss. So Stukov more than Ariel. Ariel they played once. They played Lucio and they played Morales. And Abatha comes in for RPG. Interesting map for Abatha. It's very much a hit or miss one.
But guess who also enters the fray, Tetra? It is the Johanna, who still needs her first win in the league, at least on broadcast. We only see Wang. We only see Wang by RPG really prioritizing that warrior above any other. And it's no other team that does that.
I mean, let's just quickly see. Sorry to interrupt you there. Let's just see who Johanna shares the 0% win rate area with and how many times they've all been picked. Varian, one pick, one loss. Sergeant Hammer, never picked, but banned once. Morales, one pick, one loss. Junkrat, not anymore, because we've had a match since then. Kael'thas, one pick, one loss. And then finally we have another hero with more than one pick. Malfurion, also 6 picks and 6 losses. And Johanna, 9 picks, 9 losses.
I would love to see how many of those 9 losses were played by RPG.
I can actually find that out for you.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if it were at least 7 or 8 or maybe even 9, because Wang, as I said, compared to other Warrior players in the league, he really seems to favor Johanna still, despite all the odds and despite all the trouble that comes with her. However, we criticized RPG's drafting yesterday when they had a Turiel Genji full melee kind of style, but it still worked out somehow. It was actually kind of similar to the draft they feel now, and if they had played it a little bit more clean, the RPG that is, they could have actually won. So don't count them out just because the picks don't really look too familiar on paper.
In answer to your question, 5 losses from RPG, and I'm becoming the count from Sesame Street.
There we go. That's more than 50%.
5 losses.
So, can they break the trend, and can they bring Johanna to the well-deserved first victory in the League of 2018? We're going to find out. But Sunny Lion, their lineup looks just so solid in my opinion. There's hardly any weaknesses in there. They've got a solid, well-rounded team composition, whereas RPG, once again, they're just really fond of trying new things. And I think at this point, it doesn't really matter too much anyways, because they're already at the bottom of the table, so maybe they get away with something very cheeky.
I mean, the issue is that we were criticizing them for the exact opposite last season. It's just like, oh, they're so stuck in their own ways. They don't try anything new. They're not adjusting to the meta. And now they're trying something new, and we're like, they're trying new things, and it's not working.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for RPG. Channel your energy, because that team is still looking for their very first victory in 2018. And boy, would it do good for them in terms of morale, motivation. But we're going to introduce the players here. Chicken on the Sonya, his buddy Wang on the Johanna. We've got Sa on the Uther, Infinity plays Abathur, and Loktar on Genji.
And on the right-hand side, eventually, it is going to be Sunny Lion. And they will be in the red trunks playing for them. It is going to be Pao on the Lucio, Jada on the Gul'dan, Phoebe D playing the Greymane, C on the ETC, and Eustia is on that Tyrael. And the 2 immediate shout-outs we have to say here is, oh my god, C is back on ETC, that is terrifying, and Jada's Gul'dan is amazing.
Yeah. It was basically what happened yesterday when they had the Disco Inferno unleashed. It was Gul'dan and Blaze, dealing tons of AoE damage, and it was all made possible because C, as you said, plays an amazing ETC, and we just want to watch that guy a little bit more. Let's see if he can do it again. And admittedly, there isn't really a lot of counters against the potential mosh pit, with the exception of Johanna.
We see a couple stuns being dropped back and forth between the 2 teams. Nothing super aggressive for the moment, just dueling. Now we're playing super aggressive. Spear is dropped with immediate Tyrael shield and the speed boost to get C out of danger.
Alrighty, Lucio, by the way, I really did want to see Lucio. I know that he's very competitive, that he's very popular and very successful as well. But as we said during the draft, I would have actually preferred a switcheroo. I would have liked maybe a Stukov, maybe a Morales, maybe even an Ariel, to be honest, to really prevent some of the burst damage resets by Genji as well. I think the Crystal Aegis can really be an undervalued tool these days.
I would agree. It's very undervalued. But the Gul'dan definitely gives the healing output, so yeah, I wouldn't hate it. Wouldn't hate it at all.
Now we see an aggressive move by Sunny Lion. They're trying to abuse the fact that they have Abathur on the enemy team, which means one last body to really contest here. Yusia, 50, they're all going over the wall, and they're all contesting an early mercenary camp once more, just tiny things.
Yusti has dropped his sword to give himself an escape route, but Loktar was in position to get that kill. Coming back over the wall, jumping in, and oh, this is going bad for Sunny Lion. But they were able to kill Uther, but they're losing 3 members because of it.
Thatcher, at some point, I think we can tell our Chinese colleagues that, you know, you can clear mercenary camps. You don't have to go all in every single time. If the enemy team gets a mercenary camp, you can clear it off. No need to go crazy. But you know what? By the same token, I don't want to tell them, because those fights are so damn entertaining.
It's very fun. I have no issue with them deciding to do those aggressive kind of plays at all. As we see RPG clean it up as best they can, just fixing the lanes for the moment.
All right. Okay, whenever I see a team in China now doing mercenary camps, I'm starting to get a little jiggy, a little nervous. But this time, no invade. Okay.
Unless Genji dashes across the screen. but no, we wouldn't put it past them. As Phoebe D gonna clean up the wizard minion. This is something that a lot of teams are still struggling to adjust to, remembering to actually clear the wizard mercenary first to prevent that spell shield applying to the minions.
Okay, now the Swift Strike is on cooldown, and immediately Turiel, ETC, Lucio, they're trying to collapse on Loktar, who's now out of cooldowns, but his teammates arrive just in the nick of time to keep him safe and protected.
Ustia taking a lot of damage here, but he's able to pull back and even grabs the fountain on the way past. Not too much trouble there. Infinite, on the other hand, still a little bit struggling in the bot lane, but Johanna is covering for him, restoring, killing off that camp and keeping the lane held at bay.
In the meantime, Sunny Lion, we're trying to get a first Dragon Knight into the game. However, Uther was actually man enough to prevent any of those maneuvers. Now we see a full mine build, by the way, up to this point for Abathur, which is interesting. Oh no, that's actually a shield build. My mistake. Sorry.
Yeah, it's full protection, which is interesting. I guess it makes a little bit more sense on Genji. Johanna, like symbiote build with Spike Burst, can be insane. But she can still get value out of the shield build. I'm not sure how overlapping shields work in Heroes of the Storm, actually. I've never learned.
I would say that the latest shield will be applied on top of the older one.
Okay. So if Abathur drops his shield first, it will get more value.
Hold on.
Goodbye, Gul'dan. Oh my god.
Yeah, now the movement speed needs to be used, but when you have a Genji, even the mightiest of movement speed boosts is oftentimes not going to be enough. Loktar showing his mechanical prowess, taking down 2 targets there in the bottom lane.
RPG, 5 kills to 2, and a lot of that is due to this Genji. Really nice performance so far by Loktar.
Yeah, Loktar is a player that you can never count out. He's so good to the point that he was actually subbing in for CE when they were fighting at BlizzCon and couldn't have Zuya there. And he gets another one. I guess that is the reverse casting curse. He is just showing off when all lights are on him.
Yeah, and exactly when it matters as well. Remember, if RPG would take one map off of Sunny Lion here, Sunny Lion will not be able to tie up with SPT, meaning that they will have to make their way through one more match. Loktar, he just keeps getting kills. 7 kills in less minutes.
I mean, somebody's gonna put a stop to that killing streak by Loktar here. He's all over the place. Of course, he couldn't do it all by himself. Loktar and Infinity have good synergy there. Baby Abby, of course, always needs to be in the mix there as well to provide additional damage. And more importantly, actually here in this case, the protection on Genji, who's very fragile.
To quote, I think, one of Rhaegar's quotes, "Somebody take down this hero!" But they can't do it, and he's looking for a wrapper. And look at this! Look at this, trying to cut off the escape route. They're closing in. Holy Ground is dropped. There's the sun, but reinforcements and Star, has been off more than he could do. He immediately drops the Divine Shield, but that might be a waste as the chase continues. Yeah,
that was okay. So that was a waste. I agree. It's a long cooldown that is now basically going on. However, look at how much time the entirety of RPG was buying there in the top lane, while the Dragon Knight was doing flamey business in the bottom. Johanna, Wang that is, almost got the entire fort. He got 2 towers, put a lot of pressure, and extended the overall XP lead for RPG even further.
Level 10 is hit for Sunny Lion. They're still a little bit behind, but like you said, the XP lead is very much in favor of RPG, as we see Sanctification, Sound Barrier, Horrify, go for the throat, and the question mark as ETC holds. He can react here. He could quick pick Mosh right now to try and make a play if he wanted to.
Now look at all that tankiness. Look at all the survivability on the Wang. Beautifully done. Getting the heal by Abathur really caused Johanna to get an additional shield. She didn't even have to use Iron Skin to get out of harm's way. All that was needed, was the Laws of Hope, the Abathur support, and then what's really good about Abathur and Johanna as well, Johanna can use her Condemn to pull everybody together. Then we get 6 spike bursts going on, and it makes it a lot easier for Abathur, long story short, to really hit the targets with his abilities.
Very true, as we see Johanna re-rotating down, Abathur and Sonya clearing up the top lane. This will not take too much effort. And finally, the kill count has slowed down. The minute counter has caught up to RPG's kill counter.
Here we go, Loktar now taking a lot of damage from the Corrupt, and is Greymane, is 50 going to commit to it? Deflect is
See
still
that
there.
shield, that shield heal value, keeping Loktar a little bit healthy, while the ticking damage of Gul'dan was active. Very nice to see.
I also like the patience by Sunny Lion that they didn't fully commit to it, because there were no minions to intercept the forward shots just yet, and if they had committed, Loktar would have done hey again and used Deflect and get out of harm's way. And this way, you know, they waited for the mercenaries, they waited for the minions very patiently, and now they got good results. In the meantime, though, look at the top lane, trading forward for forward, basically.
Yep, 4 for 4. ETC has been left up there to begin clearing. He has gone for the power slide knockback build, which is pretty reasonable at burst clearing lanes, but it does mean that you are using one of your good disengage tools as wave clear. It's pretty interesting. It gives you a bit more team fight value, especially though over the Echo Pedal, which is the other wave clear tool, the safer one, but still, it's both are effective at wave clear.
By the way, no mosh pit coming in here for Sunny Lion this time. It looks like C wants to have more flexibility on how he positions himself in those team fights with the stage dive. A lot of AoE damage actually available if all their tools are used correctly here. We have so much control over those team fights. Sanctification, Horrify, Sound Barrier, Stage Dive. Now, gotta be careful though. Don't use them all at once, because sometimes if the Sound Barrier is used, for example, while the enemies are feared, you're losing a lot of value.
As we see Sonya immediately dropping the Spiral to use here. In comes Loktar, and another one picking up the kill at stage dive. Does land onto Chicken here, who's actually in a little bit of trouble. Immediate Divine Shield, he heals up so much as Johanna coming in from the side. There's the Horrify, the cleanse is used, but it's not enough to save Loktar.
And with Genji dead, that means no copy on the Genji, but I don't think they even need it because they have double Sonya.
No, that was Genji. That is the
that is Genji. Sorry, my mistake.
Right before he died. Copy goes down. That's going to be a 4 for 1 there. Coming in for RPG.
All right. Black skins confusing Daddy Kendrick here. Yeah, totally right. You basically hit the nail on the head. The Genji ulti was used before he died, so good timing by Infinity. Very well done. But Chicken, did you see how tanky he was? And that is, of course, because of the build he went for. Removing slows and roots grants him so much additional survivability. The Divine Shield also on point. Beautifully done. With that Dragon Knight, I think RPG can really just dominate the mid game here.
They are trying. They're going to keep pushing in here, trying to get more value. See Ethereal as the mid fort will fall here, leaving only one fort available for Sunny Lion.
Yeah, only one fort left, and no ways right now for Sunny Lion to hold this. I'm not sure if they can force the fight. I mean, they could try, but 16 is just so close. It would basically be a ticking time bomb for them to really try and get anything done. But what oftentimes you can't forget about is that people in the Dragon Knight, especially early on, are not really that threatening, are not really that dangerous. It's definitely one of the less team fight relevant map objectives here, whereas the Garden Terror, for example, has a huge impact. The Dragon Knight in the early mid game isn't really hitting that hard.
The Dragon Knight puts the pressure on. It's got very little duration left, so it's okay to trade at least a little more of the fire breaths, but it's not going to be going all in anymore.
Yeah, when the Dragon Knight is that low and you're still surrounded by enemies, you're just trying to run away, kite them a little bit, and drop a Flame Breath every now and then to keep the minions shoved, depushed, and that's exactly what RPG was doing. Now, 16 is here and 14 for Sunny Lion. I really want RPG to keep up the aggression. They've been doing so well with it.
This is some of the best play we've seen from RPG outside of maybe their match versus CE or SPT, which always seems to be the thing. RPG, they perform really well against the best teams, and then really poorly against everyone else.
Yeah, they're always a team that you can never count out of the race here. One of the few teams who in the past have successfully taken maps of Super Perfect Team repeatedly. It was not just a one-hit wonder, it was actually happening many times before. Not just this season, because this season many things aren't going well for RPG, and SPT, quite frankly, is looking as strong as they ever have.
Yeah, the SPT, slow start, but they are now looking absolutely dominant. We will see them, though, see if they can keep up that dominance in the next series after this one. But RPG beginning to show a couple signs of life. A little late, but if they can keep that momentum going and keep themselves fresh and practice a lot during the Lunar New Year break, then I can see them having a little chance of sneaking their way into that top 3. It's a low chance, but it's there.
Yeah, that's all RPG wants to achieve right now. They basically want to prove to themselves that they still have what it takes to win games. Because if you weren't successful for such a long time, I mean, athletes and pro gamers from all different disciplines will confirm that. You start to doubt yourself, and you really need to have a good moment to come back with momentum. Now, ETC going into the stage dive. C is targeting the Sonya, who's under a lot of pressure right now.
Chicken moves in with the spin, immediate stun, but the Wrath of the Berserker and the beautiful cleanse Divine Shield, and Chicken is back in! Jada's turned on, beautiful sanctification, keeping him alive though, as Sa tried to turn it round, keeping himself alive, a nice stun, taking down the Gul'dan, the main damage dealer. They turn it round, Phoebe D taken out too, and Chicken survives Sa. Even he is able to pull back out of the fight, as RPG chase Sunny Lion all the way home.
Locktar chasing the Lucio. Is he going to get another Abathur head? He goes in with a swift check, and there goes Abathur with perfect synchrony, and they take down yet another member. A quad kill for RPG. Both shrines are available. Look at the Slugger and the top lane securing the one themselves, and yet another Dragon Knight for RPG. They're playing this wonderfully, Tetra.
Very nicely done, RPG. This is what we've been wanting to see for a while. Here comes their third Dragonite of the game. And look at this. Keep an eye on Sa in this fight especially. It's so good. Microing back and forth, positioning himself the beautiful Divine Shield so he couldn't get stunned by ETC while it was happening. Moving straight into Desanctification to stun up Jada and give the double Genji the chance for that kill. And then moving and healing himself away from Pao without getting himself killed through the gap in between Tyrion and ETC to keep himself alive.
Positioning on Sa, on the support player from RPG, on Uther, was key to winning that team fight. If Sa had got hit by that Fortify as well, it would have been a dead Sonya for sure. But with the help of Cleanse, with the help of Divine Shield, and Chicken's good positioning, they managed to keep everybody alive. Really strong team fighting here by RPG.
C moving in, looking to try and change his team's luck for the better to try and defend this keep. The keep looks pretty healthy right now, as once again, Dragonite health drops a little low, and only a couple fire breaths were used onto the keep.
Yeah, and that is of course the power of Gul'dan as well. Strong wave clear. So without the minions, there's always going to be a lot of damage coming in from those structures onto the Dragon Knight themselves. And keep in mind that with the recent buffs, structures are hitting harder than ever before. So you can really see the value, the importance of wave clear from heroes like Gul'dan and Greymane.
Chicken very nearly putting himself in danger. They're trying to charge in. C has to stage dive to get away. That's a big cooldown to burn.
That was a big cooldown to burn, but a very important one to stay alive. So I think if you think about it, like if ETC had fallen there would have been open doors for RPG to maybe take the middle, maybe take the top. So he did everything correctly. C, although he can't use it aggressively anymore, stays alive and continues to defend alongside his teammates. Oh, look at Uther's level 20, by the way.
It's going to be the extra duration and cooldown reduction on his Divine Shield. Very nice. And I used to keep forgetting that that's what it was changed to, because it used to be it would apply Divine Shield to Uther as well. I made that mistake in Hero League, forgetting that change. And trying to Divine Shield a teammate and not getting Divine Shield myself and dying, but luckily Uther keeps healing anyway.
And this, of course, all caters towards keeping Genji and Sonya alive a little bit more frequently. I mean, Sa has already shown us how well of an Uther player how good of an Uther player he is, and how well he keeps his teammates alive. Now, with the upgraded Divine Shield, things are going to get even easier for him, because even if he doesn't land a good one, it's going to be much less unforgiving. You're going to have it up much sooner than before.
Yeah, and much longer, which is a great deal because Genji, he's got that infinite Dragon Blade, and that's going to be the plan.
That's actually going to be the plan indeed, and we saw Abathur going in with a sneaky move here, actually using his symbiote on the Mercenary to heal it back up, and those 3 Z-Shines also getting healed now by Sa are definitely going to keep up the pressure onto that bottom keep. Look at the healing.
That spread shield, the networked Canopus spreading to the Mercenaries. They are healed back up. Uther, you got one more in you? Yeah, for one of them, the other one does die, and the Mercenaries finally do drop.
I'm not really sure why RPG plays this so carefully, though. I think they could have actually risked to maybe get something done. They saw ETC the top lane there. Of course, he did have stage dive, but no level 20s. No level 20s, and I think they could actually play it safe now and just wait for the Dragon Knight, I guess. I think, okay, I think it's fine.
Well, they're all going to head up to top lane to try and take that Dragon Knight. ETC is already there, and there's the reaction from Sunny Lion. They know this is where RPG will be heading, and they are going to try and rotate against it. Lucio might speed boost to the bot lane to try and grab that.
That is a beautiful tiger mount, by the way, by Tyrael. I don't think I've ever seen that one before. Did you see the white tiger fox? Yeah, Tyrael is right.
It's the mecha wolf, I believe.
Huh. Looking very cool. Looking very fancy. I learn.
As the Dragon Knight is taken with 0 contention by RPG. Wow.
All right, and this is now a serious, grave problem to deal with. Sunny Lion. This is a late game, 17-minute and 45-second Dragon Knight. It is going to hammer those structures down like there was no tomorrow. And even the best wave clear in the world is not going to be able to keep it safe forever.
Greymane goes for a ride. He's one of the main damage dealers. That's going to be a big deal. First keep down. They immediately rotate to bot. Not going for the core yet. Not taking the risk, even with that over half health from the Dragon Knight.
Techa, ETC is still in the top lane. They're trying to get that level 20 desperately, but I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it. Even if they achieve it, at what cost? At what cost, Techa? I think ETC actually tried to go in the Abathur as well. He probably saw Lucas nearby and thought he could get the slug as well. But Abathur, too slippery for now.
Yeah. There was a nice little move there that I completely forgot to say, that Loktar swift striked forward right next to Gul'dan and then immediately backflipped backwards. Now, you might be wondering why. You don't use swift strike for poke damage. It was to try and bait out Horrify, and he literally did it so quickly. If Horrify had come down, he probably would have lived.
Yeah, and even if it does go down, I mean, Sa is showing us lightning reflexes today, so as long as he doesn't get hit, I'm pretty sure he's going to have a Divine Shield or a Cleanse ready.
Very true. So yeah, I like the idea of trying to bait out the Horrify. The one thing that could really turn this game. That's a death metal coming in for ETC as Sunny Lion hits level 20.
Yeah, when you're with your backs against the wall like Sunny Lion, you may as well go for the death metal. The ultimate Hail Mary play. Now, we also see the bonus track coming in for Lucy at level 20. So if he flips those beats fast enough, he's going to have a double amp it up healing available, which could be crucial to heal everybody up while in the Sanctification, for example.
As we see Sunny Lion trying to put some pressure onto the bot lane. They're 2 keeps down themselves, so they want to try and gain value elsewhere. C decides that that is no longer the way he wishes to go, due to the large amount of RPG members. Oh, yep. Sunny Lion. They're going to try and find someone out of position, but Chicken is mounted and on the run. Ah, the Mystical Spear. Nicely done.
Yeah, Mystical Spear over the wall. The Mines dismounting ETC there as well. Great disengage by RPG, and they've got all the time in the world. They can basically play this so patiently right now, waiting for Sunny Lion to retreat, because eventually they're going to have to deal with Abathur pressure and double catapults, and while 1 or 2 people are dealing with the base and defending it, they can then snatch away a Dragon Knight here.
And you mentioned Abathur pressure. Abathur's networked Carapace shield build gives great pressure as they move in, but actually completely missed into the backline. Horrify is used, but nice cleanse.
Why is RPG going all in a team fight like that? Over a mere mercenary camp. Again, all they needed to do was play the map, play the macro game, wait for Sunny Lion to expose themselves, wait for them to not be 5 people as a unit, and then take the advantage. But as it is right now, Wang going in also missed the Blessed Shield.
The Whirlwind is good. There's a Sanctification to try and turn it round, though. Johanna turning in. Chicken is so sustaining. The Sanctification does not get too much value here. The Dragon Blade from Loktar. If he can get some kills, it will stay up indefinitely. He gets BMD. That will reset the cooldown. Going on to Jaina. Down he goes. And some power as well. That's going to be it. RPG chasing it onto the last 2 members. And he gets the vessel.
Loktar, you God among men. I have no other ways to describe him here. With a clean-cut double kill, dodging the death metal there as well for good looks. RPG takes the game with a little bit of a risky maneuver there, but with clear confidence in their team fighting abilities. Loktar and his boys end the game. Abathur, Chicken, Sa, they're all here, and this victory, Tetra, couldn't be more important for them.
RPG now 1 game away from their first victory. It will not change their standings in the slightest, but it's gonna feel good if they can do it. But this is so important for Sunny Lion, because now they have no way of raising their position. After Soa got a 2-0 anyway, there is no way Sunny Lion can now tie with Soa in the standing.
Yeah, Soa in their own way in respect are now going